Hi everyone, it is Thursday and time for our Facebook Live Touch Base Thursday, and I'm a little late, so I apologize to all of you. I was busy getting things ready for my scrapbook retreat that I'm going to this weekend, so I lost track of time, and so I apologize. I'm just going to give it a few minutes here to make sure that I am live in the group, and then we will go ahead and get started here just momentarily. If you are seeing me pop up, please comment and say hi and let me know that you're there. I would appreciate that. And then we will get started here in just a couple of minutes. So for those of you that don't know where I'm headed this weekend, I am going to an event in Everett, and it is in memory of Mary. Mary is someone who suffered from domestic violence, and her partner took her life. I think it's been 11 or 12 years. Janie Anderson is her mother, and Janie's in this group, so she might even comment on that. I'm not sure how long ago it's been, but I go there as the vendor. I'm their Stampin' Up! Demonstrator vendor at this event, and usually there's anywhere between 50 to 60 scrapbooking people there. My daughter is begging me to allow her to, hi Claudia, hi Donna, yay, people are out there. So anyway, Natalie's begging me to have my husband bring her up on Saturday because she loves coming to the event and hanging out with everyone. So we'll see if I can convince him to bring her. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, so I've been busy packing for that event tonight and getting everything ready, and I lost track of time. So I apologize for being a little bit late, but I'm glad that you're all here with me. A few announcements before we get started. I want to make sure you guys know to share my video. You share my video, you get into the drawing to win all kinds of awesome free things. And so I wanted to announce the winners of last week for people who commented. Bear with me while I find my notes, you guys. Okay, so our last week, the two prizes were our awesome little boxwood wreaths, and then I also had our Snowflake and Stars wire elements. And both of these are great embellishments for Christmas cards, and so it's kind of why I picked them. The winners are of the Snowflakes and Stars wire elements, Sharon Keith. Congratulations, Sharon. I'll get those in the mail to you. It might not be till late next week before I get them out, but you will get them. And then the winner of the box wood wreaths is Joanne Schulte. So congratulations to both of you ladies, and thank you all for sharing my video and watching me and investing your time. I really appreciate it. So up for grabs this week is, and I'm sticking with my little whole Christmas theme, I have a bolt of the Real Red 1/8 inch wide Real Red ribbon. This is a sheer ribbon, so it's kind of see-through. It's really, really pretty, and just adds a little bit of a touch to some of your Christmas cards. And then the other thing that I have is a dual pack of spritzers. After tonight's presentation of how to use some shimmer paint, you will be glad to have these, because this is one of the techniques that I'll be teaching you tonight. And these are actually, I'm not sure if they still are, but they were on back order. And so, so anyway, I'm hopeful that they're not going to be on back order for much longer, because like I said, after tonight, you're all going to want a set of these. So that's what's up for grabs this week. So please share away. Let everyone know about my Facebook Lives. So I'm just gonna say hi to a few of you. I see Penny's out there. Penny, she was the one I was messaging right before I got on live, and I went, oh my gosh, I have to go. But I actually met Penny at Mary's Dream, the event that I talked about just a little while ago, and Penny's been doing my scrapbook club ever since. So I was making sure that that she sees one of her friends, so I can give her scrapbook pages and so on and so forth. So anyway, it's a great weekend. Gonna have lots of fun. I can't wait for it. So I also want to let you guys know, I posted earlier today to this page about a promotion coming up only for the month of November, and it is called the Beautiful Blizzard promotion, and it is a beautiful stamp set, and I will actually post more about this in the next couple of weeks, but it's a really beautiful stamp set. I posted a video that Brian Pilling from our home office did showcasing the product bundle. So it is coordinating framelits, a stamp set. What he didn't show is some of the other products. It's got some really pretty white velvety 12 by 12 paper that is perfect for cutting out snowflakes. And then it's got some really pretty snowflake embellishments as well. So you'll be hearing and seeing more about that in the next couple of weeks, but it is only available for the month of November, and I love it. So I'm definitely going to want to make sure that you guys can at least see the product suite, see what's all being offered, so that if it's something that you want to nab, you'll be able to get it as well. But it's gorgeous. If you like snowflakes, you will want this bundle. My sister is going to want this bundle. I already told her, I says, be prepared because you're going to want this one. We also found out just about a couple days ago that there's going to be a huge 24-hour sale coming up next week. Now, we have not been told any of the details of the sale yet. We have no idea what's going to be included in it. We as demonstrators will find out on October 22nd. And as soon as I know about it, I will make sure that I get an email out, a post out to my Facebook group, on my blog, all of that. Because if there's a sale, I'm all on it. I want to make sure you guys know about it as well. So I'll make sure that you guys know what that is once I'm given that information. Online bingo. I really could use about 2 or 3 more players for online bingo. So if you have not registered yet, it is an amazingly fun event. I try to make it fun, and it's very well organized. So we play a couple games of bingo. The cost is $40, but all of my prizes are at least a $35 to $40 value. We play 4 games of bingo. It's from the comfort of your own home. It's all done through a Facebook Live, just like we are here right now. I actually have people here playing your cards for you as well. So I take a picture of them and print them out before I send them to you, because I know there's a little bit of a delay in Facebook Lives, and I don't want anybody to lose an opportunity to win something. So I have helpers lined up to actually play your cards here for you. Usually one of them will wave at me and say, hey, someone's got a bingo. And then I will say, okay, I'm waiting for somebody. And then that person will pop up. So we do 2 games of bingo. We do some make and takes. I get the kits out early next week. So I really need all registrations in by Sunday. It includes a bolt of ribbon, and then that $40 includes the shipping of getting your make and takes to you. It includes the 4 cards. It includes the shipping of the prizes to you. So it's really a pretty good deal, and it's about an hour and 15 minutes of really some awesome fun. So, but I do need, my registration's a little bit low right now, and because I have to buy those prizes, I really could use a few more players. So if you've thought about playing, please sign up. If you scroll down on this page, not now, I want you to watch me right now, but later if you scroll down on this page, you'll see yesterday I posted a link to registration. So please register as soon as possible so that we can get lots of fun bingo going on. Then the other thing I wanted to let you all know, this is probably a couple weeks ago, I posted an option that I was thinking about doing for a class. It was a home decor class. It had the word home on it, and then it was Velcroed, where you would remove the O and put in different seasonal things. So one was a daisy for the springtime, one was patriotic for 4th of July, so on and so forth. And I know a lot of you expressed interest in that class, so I wanted to let you know that you will be seeing that offered as a class in November, mid to late November. So classes like that take a little bit more time, I like to know I have a commitment of people interested in that. So wanted to let you know you'll be seeing that being posted soon. I am going to continue with that as a class. It'd be a great Christmas gift. Excuse me, great Christmas gift to give to people, because they can keep it up all year round and just change out so it's got the word home on it in black framelets, but then you remove the O and you put in different things for it. So again, you'll be seeing that. I'm offering it as a to-go class as well. So any of you that live long distance, let me know, and when you see that posted, and we'll make sure you get a kit as well. So tonight, what I'm going to be sharing with you is how to use our shimmer paint. So those of you that maybe have been with Stampin' Up! For a while, you know that we've had shimmer paint in the past, and they discontinued it, I would say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I was so happy to see it come back. And I think Facebook Lives are a great opportunity for me to showcase products that maybe I can't very easily showcase in classes, or if you're long distance and you can't come to my classes, I like to kind of find things that I can show you to maybe give you encouragement of, oh my gosh, I can be successful with that product. And I think our shimmer paint is a great one. And so when I was playing with it a couple weeks ago is when I had my aha moment that it'd be a great a great Facebook Live to do for all of you so that you can see the different ways that you can use it. So I have finished cards that I'm going to share with you, but in my demonstration tonight, I may not actually finish all of the cards because I want to actually show you the techniques behind them. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'll have you guys here for an hour if I actually make all of the cards that I'm going to share with you tonight. But you're going to learn 5 different ways in which you can use shimmer paint. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about shimmer paint in general because it is a nice way of adding a little wow to your card. So anybody though who's interested in putting in an order, so I have the hostess code that I'll be sharing with you in a little while. Any $30 order will get you the 4 cards that I am going to be showing you for free. And so you'll get those in the mail. They'll actually be done cards in the mail because with it being shimmer paint, I want you guys to have a finished project so you can actually see them. And I'm going to try my best to make sure you guys can see the shimmer and shine from this paint with our video, on the video tonight. So please comment if you cannot see it as we're going, because I'll make sure I move it up closer. I really want you guys to see what this awesome paint can do. So with that, I don't believe I have any other announcements. I'm going to go ahead and transition my camera down, show you guys the 4 cards that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, and sharing with you some techniques of how to use shimmer paint. Also, if you have any other techniques of how you've used shimmer paint in the past, please share them with all of us, because I'm going to be showing you 5, but there's a ton more ways in which you can use shimmer paint. So I encourage you guys, again, I like that we all share and learn from each other, and I had to limit it to 5. I have more, but I had to limit it. Again, I don't want to lose you guys to where you're like, I'm never watching her again because she just doesn't know when to stop. So anyway, with that, I'm going to transition my camera down, move my computer over so that I can see you guys' comments, and we're going to have some fun with shimmer paint. So I'll be right back with you momentarily. I always feel weird leaving you guys hanging like that when I just get up and walk away from you. Okay. So these are the pretty cards that we are going to be working with tonight and showing you some things with glimmer paint, or shimmer paint, not glimmer paint. So, and I'll be zooming in here in just a little bit. I got to move my computer over first. I want to make sure that you guys can see all this stuff okay. I know it's shaking and I apologize, but we'll get it to calm down here in just a little bit. Okay. I think that's about good. Okay, so the first thing that I want to share with you is, let me get over here. Okay, so the first card that I'm going to share with you is actually a very easy way to incorporate shimmer paint. Very, very simple, very, very easy. Let me, I do want to zoom in just a smudge more, so let me get that done here. Because I want you guys to be able to see the shine on this, okay? So that's kind of why I'm getting kind of picky. So first of all, let me show you where the shimmer paint is in our catalog. And I'm going to be showcasing 2 of the 4 for you tonight. Now, if you're interested in receiving the 4 cards that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, all you need to do, oh, hi, Shireen, I'm glad you found me. I know Shireen was having some problems finding me, so yay, I'm glad that it worked out. If you, again, if you can't see very good, please let me know. I'll zoom in a little bit more. But again, the hostess code's up here. Any $30 order will get you these 4 cards for free, already made, done cards in the mail, with all the shimmer and glitz to go with it. So in our catalog, down here at the bottom is where you're going to see the shimmer paint. They're $8 a bottle, and I'm telling you what, these paints go a long way. And I invested in, we have 4 different colors. We have a bright copper, a champagne mist, a frost white, and a Vegas gold. Now I invested in 2 of the 4, and so the 2 that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is the champagne mist and the frost white. So they're the 2 here in the middle that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I like more of the neutral color when it comes to those shimmer paints. And I struggle a little bit more with the darker ones. You'd have to use them more as backgrounds. So again, I stick with more of the neutrals. And so I have those here, and they come in these little bottles that look like this. and they have the little shaker stuff in them. And again, a little of this goes a very long way. So the first card that I'm going to be sharing with you, actually the 3 of the cards that I'm going to be sharing with you, I want to at least just show you the products or the bundle that I used for that. So this bundle is called the Falling for Leaves bundle, and it has coordinating framelits and a coordinating stamp set. And I love this one. I've used this for scrapbook pages and for my card class this month. And so I love it, that it's got lots of detail to it. So the first one I'm going to be sharing with you is this one right here. Now I'm going to try my best to quickly whip this card together because I do want to show you how I got this little bit of a shimmer on there. I want to make sure you guys can see that this card has shimmer all over it. So I'm going to kind of hold it at a different angle to make sure you guys can see that before I continue. But it's got a lot of shimmer to it. Let me make sure you can kind of see it while it's sitting down on the table there as well. But again, by holding it up, you guys can really see that shimmer to it. So anyway, what I did is I used the Mossy Meadow ink on the Mossy Meadow cardstock, and I do this a lot just to give it a little bit of a background look. And I'm just going to do some stamping all over, and I'm going to do this kind of in a very hurry way, so it might not have all of the best stamping on it, but for purposes of what I want to share with you guys, it'll be good enough. Okay, so I just did some background stamping on that. And then this is also one of the dies from those Falling Detailed Leaves Thinlits. So let me actually just show those to you real quick. Maybe it's in here. Yeah, so this is the die for that. You can see I cut it out last night and left all the green stuff in it. And it's got the detailed leaves. So I really like these dies. I think they're really, really cool. And I am just going to adhere this down to my card. So I cut this the exact same size as my card is. And then I used a piece of this is the new braided, oh, what's it called? I think it's called braided burlap or twisted burlap, but it's with the farmhouse, the Country Farmhouse product suite. And I am just going to adhere this down as well. So I find it much easier to incorporate that burlap onto, by cutting, you saw I put the adhesive down first. I find that a very much easier way to incorporate that on there. Okay, so then in advance, I cut out this little leaf using what did I use? Pool Party. And I am just gonna snip this right off. I don't need it to be quite so big. And then I'm gonna incorporate in some stamping. And I'm making sure you guys can see me here, so I'm moving everything around. And I really like the sentiment that comes with this Falling for Leaves stamp set. It says, thinking of you with a grateful heart. I love it. I think it is just perfect. I'm using some Early Espresso ink, and I'm just gonna stamp this up. Ooh, there it is. And then using my pumpkin pie, I incorporated a background stamp onto that as well. Gotta find which one of my blocks has it. Maybe none of them. I may have taken it off. Well, we're just going to use a different one because I'm not finding it. I have blocks everywhere, you guys. You should see this. It really is kind of messy. But you'll see, I'm actually going to skip that step. You'll see that I actually put a little stamped image back here. That's also from that stamp set. I just can't find it right now. So we're just going to pretend that it's there and going to continue because, again, you guys will get the gist of it. I want to actually show you the technique behind this, but this one has to be a finished card. So I'm just going to add a couple of dimensionals to this. And what I do to glue that leaf down is I kind of put a little bit of adhesive right where I want it. And I'm just going to glue it down kind of sloppily and going to adhere this as well. Okay, so there I have Thinking of You with a Grateful Heart. Isn't that a pretty quick, simple, easy card? So the first thing I'm going to share with you with my shimmer paint that I did is I mixed it with rubbing alcohol. Now you're going to want to use the 70% rubbing alcohol. Just the regular alcohol that you purchase from the store will work. You don't need anything fancy. You can see I get mine from Meijer's, and I've probably had this for quite a while. And then what I did is inside of my little spritzers, so this is one of the prizes that's up for grabs this week. What I did is I used my Frost White shimmer paint, and I put about 6 drops of shimmer paint in this little spritzer, and then I added rubbing alcohol to about, maybe 1/4 of an inch from the top. You don't want to fill it all the way to the top, because if you put it all the way to the top, you're not going to have any room to shake it, and you really want to be able to shake that around. Now, I mixed this up a couple days ago when I made my samples to share with you tonight, and it does settle. So you're going to want to make sure you give it a really good shake before you use it again. So then you want to make sure you have a surface that is nice and clean and stuff's out of the way. And all we're going to do is actually spritz this mixture. Again, if you use anything more than 6 to 7 drops, you have a chance of clogging your spritzer. So you do not want to use anything more than those 6 or 7 drops. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to be about 5 or 6 inches away, and I am just going to spritz this card all over. Okay, and the reason why you want to use alcohol, I get that question a lot. Why alcohol and not water? Alcohol is going to dry a lot faster. So, and that's what you want. You don't want your card to be wet too long, because you can see that when I sprayed this, it kind of made a little bit of a curvature to my card. Now, as this dries, it is going to lay back down flat. You can see that it's still very wet, but I want to bring it up so you guys can see that little bit of a shimmer that spray added to this card. And you could do that with any card. Now I'm looking at it going, okay, I like it, but maybe I want a little bit more shine to it. You know what? That's okay. We can add a little bit more shine to it. So I'm going to spritz just a little bit more. The more you spray, the more glimmer you're going to get. But look at how pretty that is. I'm hoping you guys, can you guys see the on the video, okay, the look you get from that? I'm hoping so. I'm going to make sure I bring it in closer at different angles so you guys can see that. But isn't that pretty? And that is this is my favorite way to use a shimmer paint. And the reason why is it's because it's so easy, and it adds so much to your cards. So I'm focusing on fall cards because it's the fall time. But can you imagine if you had a beautiful Christmas card, you know, trees or whatever, and you wanted to add a little frost to it? This is perfect. Perfect way to do it. I love it. So that is my first technique of how I use my shimmer paint. And again, a little of that goes a long way. So my second way of using it, I'm going to share with you on this card. Now I'm going to bring this right in so you guys can see. What I did on this one is I incorporated it into my stamping. So where it says thinking of you with a grateful heart, oh good, you guys can see it. I'm glad you guys can see that. So I'm hoping you can see this one. I'm bringing it right up to my camera, and I'm going to move it around for a little bit. But the thinking of you with a grateful heart has a little bit of a glimmer and shimmer to it. Now you'd be able to see that in a little bit more detail if you had the card in your hand. So I'm hoping it shows up a little bit. But when you see the technique behind it, you'll understand how that works. So with that, I'm probably not going to actually make the whole card. I'm just going to make this little element right here to share with you how that's done. So what you're going to do is you are going to, let me bring in my ink pad. I used Fresh Fig on this one. So I'm bringing in my Fresh Fig ink pad. And here's where you're probably going to want to use a sponge dauber. And I'll tell you why. You can get a little bit more, yes, Missy, Paige is going to want this stuff. Paige loves glimmer and glitz and glitter and all that good stuff. So the sponge daubers, let me tell you the difference between a sponge dauber and a sponge, and when I use which one. So if you do not want a lot of coverage I use sponges. Sponges are not going to give you, they're a little bit more spongier, they're not as sturdy as a sponge dauber, and it's going to give you more of just a spongy look. And so the next technique that I'm going to share with you, you will see why I use the sponge and not the sponge dauber. Now, the sponge dauber, you have a little bit more, you're going to get more saturation with it, better coverage with it. So when you see what I'm doing, you'll understand why I chose to do it the way I did it. So I need to clean off my Thinking of You with a Grateful Heart stamp first, because it still has the Early Espresso in it. So let me clean this off. And those of you that got the Simply Sham, I know a handful of you have it. Have you used it yet? Do you like it? I would love your feedback, because I know that it is one of the products that I've encouraged all of you to purchase. And I'd love to know what you think of it so far if you've used it. Most of my ladies in my class like it. I haven't had many say that they don't, but would love to know what you think of that. Okay, so what you're going to do to get the stamping, right into your ink or into your stamped image is you're going to go into your ink color of choice. So I am using Fresh Fig in this case, and I'm going to get that nice and inked up. Move it out of the way, and then you're going to turn it upside down. And I am going to use, this time, the Champagne Mist. Now, the difference between these two is not a lot. One is more pearlized, one is more of a champagne, light beige color. You're going to want to make sure you shake these up really, really, really good. Now, when you do that, you're going to get a little bit of paint inside your lid, and that is what I use to actually pull my glitter from, or my shimmer paint from. So I'm going to actually go right into this and get some of that onto my sponge dauber, and I'm just going to ink right on top of this. And before I stamp this down, I'm going to make sure that you guys can see it, how it adds the shimmer to this. So you are going to have a messy sponge dauber, but that's okay. Now, if you are doing a lot of these cards, I would encourage you to actually dump some of your glimmer paint into a little container or something. But since I'm just demonstrating one, I'm not going to take the time to actually do that. And then what you're going to do, let me bring this in. So I'm going to bring this up. I'm not sure if you can see that it's got some shimmer to it a little bit already. You can see it on the stamp, but you're going to want to huff this. I know it sounds funny, but if you breathe on this, you can probably hear that. It re-moistens that ink, and it's going to give you a better stamped image. And then you're just going to stamp this down. And voila, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it's a way of adding glitter right to your stamped. If you look at the thinking, you can really see it. I know I can see it at an angle, but it's gorgeous. And you're going to get people saying, how'd you do that? Because it just adds a little bit of pizzazz right to that stamped image. Make sure you guys can see it a little bit. Isn't that cool? Okay, so that is how you're going to do that one. And again, I'm not going to take the time to actually go through and put the whole card together. I will tell you that I used Fresh Fig and crushed curry. I embossed it with the sequin embossing folder, a couple little banner pieces. And whenever you see cards that I've created where I've used some banners, these are truly just my scraps. I have scraps of paper that I use, and I've layered 3 together in the same color of the card, added one little leaf to it, and look at that pretty card that you have. So pretty. So, so pretty. Okay. The next technique that I'm going to share with you is called the Faux Mother of Pearl. And this is also probably one of my second favorite. So I'm not sure if you can see the shimmer on this. I hate that 45-second delay because it's hard for me to know if you guys can see it. Hi, Mary Ann and Shelby. Okay, so this is the Faux Mother of Pearl technique, and I know you guys can see that because I can see it on the video. And this is so fun and easy to do as well. Now, this one you do have to use the Frost White glimmer paper, because otherwise, I mean, you could try it with the other one, but Mother of Pearl, to me, Frost White, it just goes together. So let me bring in my piece here to show you how I did that one. It's all sticking together here. So now this is another stamp set that I did not like when I first saw the holiday catalog. And I'm telling you what, I have seen some beautiful cards designed with it. This one is called the Wishing You Well stamp set. And what I like about it is this wheat. At my dad's funeral, my mom actually had some wheat put in my dad's flowers that were on the casket. And this, I know it's kind of like a flower bouquet. You can make it a flower bouquet, but this reminds me of that. And I've seen so many pretty cards made with it that I had to get it. I love it. Love it, love it. So we're going to work with this piece right here. This is the size that goes on this card. Now the paper that I used on here is Whisper White. I also used Crushed Curry. Crushed Curry and Blackberry Bliss or Fresh Fig are all good colors for the fall. And this paper is one of the pieces from the Country Lane Designer Series paper. So on the back side, it has more of your pumpkins and things like that. You can see that. I used the side that has more of the plain pattern just for kind of a more, I wanted it just to be the two colors. And then Crushed Curry and Cajun Craze is what I used on this as well. So with this technique, we are going to use the Frost White. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a little bit of saran wrap from your, I got to close up my ink pads, you guys, I'm really weird about that. You're going to get a little piece of saran wrap. I took a little piece from my kitchen, and what you're going to do is you're just going to ball this up into a little ball. Not really, really hard and you know, crush it up too much, but you want it in a little ball. And again, I'm going to pull my glimmer paint right from my lid, and I am going to put this right into my lid to get some out of it. And I'm going to actually do a little bit onto my paper first. And then you're just going to put this glimmer paint right onto this piece of white, Whisper White cardstock. And you're just going to be adding a little bit here or there, but you want to make sure you have the whole piece of Whisper White covered. So I'm going to get a little bit more. Depends on how much you want to add and how heavy you want to add it, but you want it to look kind of blotchy. So you really do not want it to be totally saturated, but you want, again, good coverage on it. So let's see here. I think that's pretty good. Now that's going to take a couple minutes to dry, so while that is drying, I'm going to show you another technique that I did on my last card while that's drying. We'll come back to that in just a second. So my last card that I want to show you, because this is kind of a similar technique, is this beautiful one right here. So this is also a leaf from the framelits that I showed you, the Falling for Leaves. And I want to tell you how I did this leaf. It's been a huge hit. I did this card in a class and everyone loved it. So we cut this out with Whisper White cardstock. So even though my mat here is very vanilla, we cut this one out with Whisper White, and then you're just going to pick all these things out. They'll come right out, no problem. And all I did is I used sponge daubers and sponged this before I adhered it to my card. So I sponged the bottom part with Old Olive, and then we used Fresh Fig, which is the color of the base of the card, and then we used Berry Burst, and we topped it off with Gorgeous Grape. So that is how we did that leaf. Now you could do that leaf in many different colors for fall. I chose more of this color of a palette because it just goes, those of you that know me know I'm a pink and purple kind of person. But what I did on this is after I did this, I simply sponged, you can probably see the shimmer paint on that, I sponged the shimmer paint on top of that leaf before I adhered it on. And then this background, I adhered the Frost White shimmer paint, the exact same way that I did it just a minute ago. I did it with the saran wrap, okay? But again, it makes the whole card look a little bit, a little bit splotchy, not complete full coverage, but you get a little bit of the shimmer and shine to it. So anyway, that is how I did that card. Isn't that pretty? And it's simple. I mean, this is literally a card that any of you could duplicate. It's just a card base, your typical mat, 5 1/4 by 4, the greeting. These hearts are from a bubble over stamp set, but if you look in the catalog, there are many stamp sets that have little hearts in them that you could incorporate on here. The Apron of Love has a little heart as well, so again, you can incorporate any of those little hearts on there. But isn't that beautiful? And then to adhere this down, that was a question I had. How did I adhere that down when it's so intricate? So you could either have used, multi-purpose glue, the fine tip glue pen. I actually chose to use the mini dimensionals, and I put a mini dimensional at each one of those little points on the so each of these, and you really can't see it. It's at the very tip, and that's how I adhered that down. But isn't that pretty? Okay, so let's go back to this card. I'm hoping that we're dry, and if it's not completely dry and I make a complete mess, just bear with me. I think you guys will be able to follow the technique along. So this is where you want to make sure that you use a sponge versus a sponge dauber. And I made a little bit of a boo-boo on my card, my card sample, but I did it on purpose because I wanted to show you guys the difference. So you can see down here on the bottom that I have a really a lot of saturation of my, actually I did not use crushed curry. I used So Saffron. So I need to find my So Saffron ink here. Nicole, would you find me a So Saffron ink? I have my daughter-in-law here helping me with kits. I must have put my So Saffron ink away, so she's going to have to find it for me. It might even be in this basket over here, Nicole. But what I did is you're going to want to choose a yellow that's lighter in color, because if I'd have used the crushed curry, this would have been a really high saturation of ink. Nicole, I think it's in this basket right here. But you can see right down here where it's got this streak that's a little bit darker. So that is basically where I used a sponge dauber. So if I would have kept going with the sponge dauber, I would have had saturation that would have just been really, really heavy on this card. So thank you. So I used a sponge and I used the So Saffron because all I wanted to do was to get a little bit of a color behind this. Now imagine if you were to do a winter type card and you were making like a winter scene. I'm telling you what, you guys, the new Blizzard stuff that I talked about earlier, the Blizzard Beautiful Season Blizzard, I forget what it's called, would be beautiful for this technique as well. So I'm just going to go into my ink and get a little bit of yellow ink, and then I'm just going to sponge this over ever so lightly, and you can see that I'm actually going off my paper a little bit. I like to do that to get the excess ink off. Have you ever done this kind of a technique where you go down and you put tons on? So I have learned by actually getting a little bit of the ink off and starting off your paper and then rubbing on, it gives you the best coverage because you're not going directly onto the paper. So going off and then going on. You see I'm starting off and then going on. I hope that makes sense to you guys as to why I do that. But you already have your pressure points as how you would do that, and it just makes it look really nice. Okay, I think I'm gonna call that good. Let me do a little bit more on this end. Okay, so again, this is called the Faux Mother of Pearl. But look, can you imagine doing that with a light blue, like a balmy blue? Isn't that just gorgeous? And I probably should have stamped it first, but we're going to try it the opposite way. So now I'm going to actually stamp this using the crushed curry. And this is that wheat that I talked to you all about that I absolutely love. And I'm going to stamp this down. Oh, it worked. So I guess you don't need to. I learned something too. You don't need to do your stamping first. I wasn't sure if the ink would adhere to where the shimmer paint is, but it sure did. And then we're going to add the little flowery stuff to it. And that's just going to go inside of it. Oh, look how pretty it is. Now there are no framelits for this, so the bow is hand cut, but I got to show you guys how awesome the detail is in this, because let me bring in my crushed curry again. So the detail on this bow is pretty amazing, and you just get that look just by stamping it. Look at the detail on that, how the stamp has some of it lighter, some of it darker. The outline of the bow is just amazing. Now, I did hand cut that or fussy cut, and it does go pretty fast, so it's not that bad to fussy cut this. Again, I know I've told this in many of my videos, but I actually hold my scissors pretty still when I'm fussy cutting, and I actually turn my paper. It just helps me guide that right where I want it to go. And when you're fussy cutting, you don't want to cut directly on the line, because if you cut directly on the line, let me cut this off of here so I can do it a little bit better. If you cut directly on the line, you're going to lose your definition. So you can see that I'm actually cutting a little bit on the outside of the line. That is what you want to do. If you cut on that line, you're going to lose that whole border, and you lose part of the design of the image of how it's supposed to look. So, but this is kind of how I do it. I actually guide the paper and keep my scissors pretty much right where I want them. That's just a little trick of the trade that I've learned by fussy cutting things. So you can see that went fairly quick. And then I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals, and I'm going to adhere this down. And that's as far as I'm going to actually go with this card, because again, I have a couple more things I want to tell you and show you. But isn't that pretty? This is, like I said, is probably one of my favorites as well. And the reason why you want to use the saran wrap, I've had people ask me why you use the saran wrap and not a sponge. The saran wrap gives you more of the space in between. A sponge is going to give you that all over coverage, which is going to look similar to if you just spritzed it on there. So, and mother of pearl, you have different coverage of pearl in your mother of pearl things. So anyway, hope you guys can see that okay. I'll bring in my finished project on that one so you guys can see it as well. But isn't it gorgeous? Love that technique. Okay, so the next way in which you can use it, I'm going to actually bring in my piece here again that I did earlier for you all. You could actually use this as an ink distressor to ink around the edges. So I'm going to bring in I need to clean out my little lid here, so bear with me. One thing I'll tell you is you don't want to see how when I did this technique and I used the sponge dauber, how it got some ink in there. You're going to want to clean that out before you close that back up, because if you don't, you're going to have over time you're going to have icky looking paint, because you don't want to get that dark of a color into your paint jar. So I'm going to be using the champagne mist again. And every time I use it, I like to shake it up, get it really good and distributed. And using a sponge, and I'm going to actually use a different side of the sponge that I used for that yellow. You're going to add some glitter, and I'm just going to ink distress this right around this circle. So I'm doing it the same thing that I would do if I was, I think I showed you guys before how you ink distress to give you a little bit of dimension. You can do this as well with this. And it's going to give you a little bit of a shimmery look right around the edges. And when you do that, it's kind of hard to see. So let me find my piece that goes with this here and put it behind it. So this is going to get glued behind here, and now it really pops and you can really see it. So that is another way in which you can do it. So that is the fourth way. The fifth way is, and I'm just gonna tell you the fifth way that I have used this before, is with ribbon. So let's just say you had a bolt of ribbon. I am gonna go find some ribbon for you guys. So one moment. I do wanna show you guys this. When you go live, that happens sometimes. Okay, so I just went to my ribbon supply and got out some of the silver edged white ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to use my frost white for this. And I have a sponge here that already has my frost white on it. Let me make sure you guys can see this real quick before so let's say I wanted to add some shimmer and shine to this ribbon on my card. You're just going to put some shimmer paint. I keep saying glimmer because we have glimmer paper. Right onto this, and you're just going to sponge it right onto your ribbon. Now this is probably going to show up better if you had like a red ribbon or something like that. But for purposes of my video, I wanted to just show you kind of how you can make a glittery look to your ribbon. So cool. And again, a little bit of this paint goes a long way. I have been using it to make samples and things all week, and I have a ton of it left. So that just adds a little bit of shimmer to your ribbon as well. Now, you could also use the other two colors that I don't have, which is the copper, bright copper, and the Vegas gold, and that would probably show up a little bit better on white ribbon. But again, it's a technique that I wanted to share with you on how awesome you can, make different ribbons look. So anyway, those are the 5 techniques that I wanted to share with you today. I'm going to bring my card samples back in so you guys can all see them. If any of you are interested in these cards, you have until Saturday night, midnight, to put in your $30 minimum order. And you can even order some of these supplies, the paint or the stamp sets, to make these beautiful cards. But you will get these cards already made, sent to you in about a week or so. And again, they're beautiful. There's 4 of them. Where did I put my other one? Oh, it's the leaf one that I hid on you guys. So these are the 4 cards. Now, if you just go to kimsbasementbunch.com, the hostess code is right there at the top. I use the same hostess code every week. Again, I want to reiterate, club members, you use a different hostess code. So don't write that one down for your club order. Club orders are different. But any $30 order not associated with club or any kind of a class will get you these 4 beautiful cards for free. And I hope that you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about shimmer paint. I know I went over on my time. I tried my best to keep these to 45 minutes. I appreciate your time tonight, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned some things of how you can incorporate some shimmer paint and some more glimmer and glitz into your projects. So thank you all so much for stopping. I want to remind you that there will not be a Facebook Live next week. Next week is my team retreat, and I am going to be leaving in the afternoon on the 25th. And I was going to try to squeeze one in on the 24th, but I learned it is my daughter's first orchestra concert. My daughter Claire is giving her hand at the cello, and she's playing a half cello. So my little 11-year-old is playing a half cello, and she's doing a beautiful job with it. And so I have her concert, her orchestra concert that evening. So I need to be there, and I know all of you will understand that. So anyway, I will be back, though, the following week, and I look forward to sharing. I'm not sure what I'm going to share with you yet, so if you have any ideas, please let me know. Comment, let me know. But I'm sure I'll come up with something awesome to share with you, and I will see you all back in a couple weeks. So thank you, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great evening.